So the 2019 NHL Trade Deadline has just ended, and the New York Rangers were one of the more active teams this deadline. And I wanted to make a video just highlighting their trades leading up to the deadline and their trades on deadline day, which is today, the 25th of February. And yeah, I think they really have an interesting deadline, and their future is really up in the air right now. They have plans for a rebuild, but they just shipped off their major players, and yeah, we're gonna start talking about that. I'm joined by Jack, who's a avid Rangers fan as well.
Hello,
And Jack,
guys.
you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, my name is Jack. I'm a Ranger fan, and I'm the biggest fan as a corporal, but I'll be able to offer my insight on this.
Yes, he's an NHL analyst, as you've seen right there. So I just wanted to start talking about the trades leading up to the deadline. So, Jack, are you familiar with like Cody McLeod? He's kind of like
Yes.
the semi-enforcer on the Rangers, but he didn't really do that great of a job. Um, so they traded him to Nashville for a seventh round pick in 2020. What do you think of that trade? I'll
I
let
mean,
you give your opinions first.
well, I think it was a good trade for them. I mean, obviously the pick isn't really that big, but the main reason was just to get rid of him. He was never really that good, and he wasn't the greatest enforcer.
Yeah, I think the Rangers had him there mostly for locker room presence. Um, GM David Poyle from the Nashville Predators said that he regretted putting McLeod on waivers. Like right after he did it, he regretted it, and I think they really wanted him back just for their locker room presence. And then after that trade, they traded Cole Schneider, the former captain of the Hartford Wolfpack, to Nashville for Connor Brickley. Um, and now, as you can see, Connor Brickley's in the starting lineup for the Rangers these last few games, and he's looked pretty solid. What do you think of this one? I like this trade.
I
Um,
think it's a good trade too. They want a new player. They wanted to shake
because
things up.
Brickley really hasn't shown. I'm not Brickley. What's his name? Cole Schneider really hasn't shown that he has NHL level abilities. And Connor Brickley's bounced between. I mean, he was on Florida. He had a brief stint in the NHL, but spent most of his time in the AHL. I think he does have fourth line potential with the Rangers, especially on this rebuilding
Yeah,
young team.
he could be a good filler player during the rebuild.
Yeah, but I don't really see him sticking around as like a core piece, obviously. But I think probably he'll stay for another. I don't know how. I'm not really sure on his contract. But yeah, I don't really see him being a fundamental piece of the rebuild, but he's a nice complementary piece, like on the fourth line or something. And this is the trade that I really like coming up. The trade where the Rangers sent Peter Holland to the Chicago Blackhawks for Darren Radish, who's a right-handed defenseman. He's about 22 years old, I think. And I was looking at his his OHL stats. He had 81 points in 62 games for Erie in the 2016-17 season. I don't know why the Blackhawks decided to trade this guy away. I think he's got at least top four potential. Um, Worst case scenario, top six. But I don't know. I guess they saw something in him that they didn't like, or maybe they felt like he's kind of overrated. But those AHL stats, that's really good for a defenseman. Way over a point per game. Get to trade deadline day or the day before, 2 days before, when they traded Matt Zuccarello to the Dallas Stars for two conditional picks, one being a 2019 second, one being a 2020 third. So the conditions on the second round pick is that it becomes a first round pick if Dallas wins two playoff rounds and Matt Zuccarello plays in at least 50% of Dallas's playoff games. And the conditions on the third round pick for 2020 is that it becomes a first if Zuccarello decides to re-sign after the season with the Dallas Stars. I don't know. I thought they could get more for Zuccarello, as you probably thought as well. But
Mhm.
we saw that trade with Nyquist going to the Sharks. He's a similar player to Zuccarello. I would argue that Zuccarello has a little bit more value as far as like playmaking goes. But I guess that was the market price for a rental winger, a second and third. But I like the conditions on the Rangers pick, especially the second one. I really don't see them making the playoffs, let alone like making it 2 rounds in. But I like the chances that Zook re-signs with Dallas. So then the big trade that the Rangers made on deadline day was they shipped Kevin Hayes to the Winnipeg Jets for a 2019 first and forward Brendan Lemieux, who is the son of former NHLer Claude Lemieux. And many scouts have said that Brendan plays similar to his father. He's got that gritty side to him that I think the Rangers really need. And he's only 22 or 23. I think he's 22. So he's got some potential upside. And um, I think that he can bring more than just grit to the Rangers. I think he has a little bit of finesse in his game too. And a combination of those two, he's really going to be a force to be reckoned with if he cracks the top six of the Rangers. A lot of people were comparing him to Tom Wilson, or no, Brandon Prust rather. Brandon Prust. Are you familiar with him, Jack? He used to
Not
be on the
really,
Rangers.
but I
He's
can
like a
see he was
grinder,
pretty good.
kind of grinder player. He's physical. Yeah, but I hope that Lemieux can crack the top six in the future for the Rangers. And I like that first coming back for Kevin Hayes. A lot of people were saying it was a little bit of an overpayment for someone like Kevin Hayes. Um, but yeah, we'll take it any day, right? First round pick. I like the move for both teams. For Winnipeg, I mean they get a top six forward, maybe even third line. I think they're gonna play him on the third line, behind Scheifele and who's that other guy there? Who is? I'm thinking of this
Blake
guy's
Wheeler?
name.
Is it Blake Wheeler?
No, center, not Lowry. It's the
I don't know.
I'll just put it in the video. I forget his name. But yeah, I think he's gonna be a second or third line. He could see power play time. I think they'll give him power play time. Um, and then the final trade for the Rangers of the trade deadline day, they sent Adam McQuaid to Columbus in exchange for a fourth round pick, a seventh round pick, and prospect Julius Bergman, I think he's 23. He signed a contract extension in the SHL, so I don't think he's gonna come over this season or next season. So this guy's kind of like maybe just a little throw in. I don't know. I don't really see him having an impact in the NHL as of right now. But I like that we were able to get. I like that we were able to get the 2 picks for McLeod, not McLeod, McQuaid. And yeah, Columbus has been one of the more active teams in the deadline. They got Matt Duchene, they got Ryan Dzingel, and now they bring in McQuaid, so some more veteran presence on defense, and he's also a right-handed shot. What do you think about this trade?
Well, I think it's a good trade. I don't think he really meant much to the team, but anything for draft picks will look good.
Yeah, I
And I
know,
hope you.
especially when you're rebuilding. I think the volume of draft picks on this trade was really good that they were able to get two and not just the one.
And even if
Even though
they
it's a seventh, it's still
Yeah,
a
and
pick.
even though they're not the best picks, they can still use them in a future trade for a player when they get good and have to trade for players at the trade deadline.
Yeah. But I think the Rangers are just gonna hold on to these because these are 2019 picks, I believe. I think they should just use them. And I read something. I think that Columbus only has like 2 picks left for the 2019 draft. I think they have a third and a seventh left, or third and a sixth, something like that.
So this shows they're going all in for this year, and then
Yeah, they're
they might
going
lose.
all in,
And if they
obviously.
lose Panarin and Bobrovsky in the off season, then they're going to be really bad. But it would
Yeah, this is their
hopefully they can
year.
make it
This
past
is
the first round.
I think they can do damage in the playoffs. I think they're a different team than last year, obviously, with now Matt Duchene stepping in as the #1 center. They have Dzingel too. Panarin on that line with Duchene and Atkinson has really been good of the 1 or 2 games they've been together. Um, but yeah, I think the short term future in Columbus is good. I'll
Getting
have a
cut
video
out.
in the future about the state of the rebuild, like maybe towards the end of the season, and I'll talk about like Kravtsov and Igor Shesterkin, the Rangers goalie prospect, is lighting up the KHL right now. But yeah, it's gonna be about it for the video. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for more NHL content and also New York Rangers content, more specifically, as they're my favorite team. So I'll talk about them. I have a little bit more knowledge about them as opposed to other teams. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching.